With light linking, you can choose which objects are illuminated by a light and which objects cast shadows from a light. You may type in your light linkings manually using the light mask parameter on your objects. Let me show you. If I go to my context and I go, for example, inside my teapot, here if I go to its render tab under shading, you can see this light mask here. And inside this light mask, you can specify which lights can illuminate this teapot. Here, when you see this asterisk symbol, what it means is that any light found in your scene will light this teapot. If I take off this asterisk and I type a light name, let me say light name for example, then the only light which will light this teapot will be the light called light name. Let me get back this asterisk here. You may also use categories for light linking, but I will not go into that for now. And one simpler way to do light linking inside Houdini, it's the light linker. Let me just load it here. I will go to this light linker. So this is my light linker, and here you can do also light linking instead of typing everything manually inside the light masks or the shadow masks. I will just show you the relation between the light linker and the fields on my objects or on my lights. Let me, for example, take my cylindrical light 1, and here you can see everything selected means that this light is assigned to this object. And if, for example, here I have my teapot selected, if I deselect it from cylindrical light 1, let me search my teapot here, it's here, I'll just deselect it, I'll hit Control and I'll click on my teapot. You can see that inside my light mask parameter, this Cyl Light 1 appeared with a caret symbol before it. And now what I'm saying in this parameter is that you use all the lights for the teapot with this asterisk symbol, but you do not use this cylindrical light 1 because I put this caret symbol before it. And if I want to include the light back, I can either delete this entry here, and you can see that it got highlighted again in my light linker, or I can just highlight it again in my light linker and it will disappear from my light mask parameter. And you can see now it didn't delete the whole Cyl Light 1 entry, but it deleted the caret symbol before it, and that's the same in this case as saying I delete this whole entry because I have this asterisk here. Okay, so now you know how to use the light linker or how to do manually the light linking inside the parameter light mask inside your objects. For now, let me just make the lights inside my cylindrical light light only the top of my cylindrical light. So I will just select my cylindrical light 1 here and I'll click on my cylindrical light top, and I will do the same for the cylindrical light 2, and I'll choose cylindrical light top. One problem you may have noticed here is that when I clicked on cylindrical light top for cylindrical light 1 and cylindrical light 2, everything went off except for the chair 1 and chair 4. So now I disconnected the cylindrical light 1 from everything except for my cylindrical light top and my chairs. And in fact, I wanted those two lights to only light my cylindrical light top. So why those chairs didn't go off when I clicked on this cylindrical light top? The problem is, let me go to my chairs. Here I will go to my object, and here if I go to my render tab, you can see that here I do not have a shading tab inside my render tab, so I do not have a light mask parameter. To make it appear, let me just maximize my network editor. I will right click on my chair 1 and I will go to edit parameter interface, and here I will go to the for rendering tab and I will type light mask. Then I will go to my Mentor 10 inside my shading, and I will see this entry called light mask. I'll right click on it and I'll do install parameter. I'll hit accept, and I'll do the same for the chair 4. I'll do also edit interface. I'll select this light mask and I'll install it. I'll hit accept. I'll minimize my network editor, and now you can see that I have a shading tab that appeared here, and inside it I have my light mask. And now if I control click on my chair 4, you can see that I can get it off now, and for my chair 1 it's the same. I will do the same for the cylindrical light 2, and I will turn it off for the chair 1 and the chair 4, and now I have the cylindrical light 1 is lighting only my cylindrical light top, and my cylindrical light 2 is lighting only my cylindrical light top. Okay, let me now go to my square light, and I will also make my square light only light my square light top. So I'll just click on it, and everything went off So now I have my square light only lighting my square light top. I did this because all the objects in my scene are not receiving any direct illumination. In fact, they are lit by the indirect illumination coming from the square light top and the cylindrical light top. So I just made the lights, the square light and the cylindrical lights, light only the cylindrical light top and the square light top. And for the indirect illumination, which is calculated by this light template here, which is called light 1, I wanted to calculate the indirect illumination for all the objects in my scene, except for the cylindrical light top and for the square light top, because they are having the direct illumination which is very strong on them, and the effect of the indirect illumination will be very negligible on those two surfaces. Later on, while we move with our project, we'll be doing more light linking optimization as we go, compromising between render speeds and the result we want. We will do the same for shadow linking. In fact, you can do also shadow linking with the light linker. You will have to just change the link type here on the top from light mask to shadow mask, and here the links you do are for shadow linking. I can show you the parameter corresponding to that also on my lights. I will go to my object's context, and if, for example, I select my cylindrical light 1 and I go to its parameters, you can see here a field called shadow mask, and this is the equivalent of light mask for the light linking, but this is for shadow linking or shadow masking. So if I now select my cylindrical light in my light linker and I wanted to only cast shadows for my cylindrical light top and my cylindrical light base, all I have to do is just select it here and click on cylindrical light top, then control click on my cylindrical light base. And I'll do the same for my cylindrical light 2. I'll click here and I'll control click here, and for the global or indirect illumination light I will leave the shadows for all the objects, and for the square light I'll just leave the shadows for the square light top and for the square light inner shadow. Okay, let me get back to my scene view, and I'll do a render just so you remember where we've been, and I'll stop the render and I'll be back when it's done. Great, so now we have indirect lighting in our scene. It's still dark and far from done, but we will be refining things as we go. Let me save the scene at this point. I will just save it as scene_3, so you may be able to go from here if you didn't follow. And in the next chapter, let us work on the materials for our objects.